Welcome back to the channel, everybody. More specifically, back to the workshop. For those of you that don't know, Jordan and I are getting a new puppy. Actually, at this point, we've already gone and picked her up. And so in this video, we're going to see how I went ahead and built a 2-dog crate that is going to replace our sofa table in our living room. So it will hold both the new pup and also Rogue, the black lab that you've probably seen in a few videos. There she is right there. She was very interested to see what the new puppy was going to be like. This is Rogue meeting her for the first time.
Don't overwhelm her, Bugs. You got your puppy? Two happy tails.
So a few weeks before we went to pick her up, we decided we needed a new kennel that would hold both dogs. This is the previous one that I had built right after we moved in, and it's worked great, but it's also showing some wear from the previous mentioned black dog. I decided to keep the design similar with the slats so they can see each other. Hadn't really figured out the hinges at this stage, but guess the same situation would work as with the old kennel. I also found a plugin that will generate a cut list based on the type of material you're working with and help you get the most efficient use out of whatever you have. Everything was designed to be cut out of 3/4 inch plywood to make it easier to break down the material. These dimensions were great when doing the assembly to make sure that I had all of my material measurements correct and make sure that everything went together the way it was supposed to. This cut list was also great with helping me figure out what order to break down material and what cuts to make first and how to get everything to the right dimension. So I like to break down plywood in the carport just to make them easier to handle, easier to get on the table saw. And my shop's in the basement, for those of you who don't know, so it's a whole lot easier to get them downstairs and around the corner to where all of my tools are set up. They're a little more manageable. So here they are after the first couple of cuts, and then next up, table saw. As you can see in the plan, this design called for 60 slats, and for each slat there were 4 pocket holes. So that's almost 250 pocket holes just on the slats, not counting all the frame and everything else. So yeah, it took me just a little while. So I decided to start with the doors first. I figured that was the smallest and the fewest amount of slats for each of the little sub-assemblies as I kind of divided them into. That means if I screwed them up, I didn't have a whole lot of material I had to replace. So I figured that was the best place to start, get all of my ducks in a row and figure out the best order of operations to get stuff put together. So I decided to glue everything on the doors, but the other sub-assemblies, I only glued the frame. I didn't glue all the slats in, just to make it easier to replace one if I needed to. So I decided to keep going with the door side sub-assembly to get that all finished up and see how it was going to look. Next up, it was on to the two ends and the middle divider. Pocket holes, of course. I think you can see where this is going. Let's speed this up a little bit. Alright, done with the assembly. I decided to round over all of the slats and all the parts that you're going to touch to just make them a little more pleasant to feel and be around and not catch anything on a harsh corner or anything like that. This is a white side router bit, and they are great. If you've never used one before, they are super sharp and they just glide over the material real easy. The other thing I really like about this router is this dust collection. You can kind of see it does really good at keeping the dust down and keeping it out of the air for the most part.
The way you glow, you change your mind, you're free, your soul. Feel that vibe like a summertime lightning, living without you feels like dying. I don't wanna be alone. Feel that vibe like a summertime lightning, living.
After the routing is everybody's favorite. That's right, sanding.
I got nothing to lose when I put my faith in you. So patient, you're faithful and true. So I'm keeping my gaze. I'm falling in faith, I'm on the wave. I had to fall and get on my own way. Life it get hard.
So all this stuff was just going to get painted anyway, other than the top and the bottom, so I didn't do too much of a fine detail or anything. I only went up to 120 grit, but it was, you know, good enough for getting the paint to stick.
Save my soul. Gave me a cross to carry. Western Sarah back to back, man, it's legendary.
I use this milk paint stuff that we used on all the other furniture that I've built for the living room in there, just so that everything kind of matches. It's not too bad. It covers pretty well. I think I did 2 coats and then a top coat of just some wipe-on polyurethane.
I got nothing to lose when I put my faith in you. So patient.
And then, like I said, the top and bottom are just getting this gel stain. Dark walnut, again, matches all the accent stuff that we've got in that room from the other pieces that I've made.
Won't look away from you, look away from you, Lord. I keep my gaze on you, keep my gaze on you, Lord. Won't look away.
Here's that wipe-on poly. I did semi-gloss for all of the inside parts where the dogs are going to be, just to kind of make it easy to clean and all that kind of stuff. And then the top I did satin just to make it a little nicer to touch. I really like this wipe-on stuff because it just slaps on, really easy to apply, and it ends up really nice every time. I think it's because it's so thin, it just really levels out so you can get a nice even finish.
Behind the makeup, like it's with the cost of losing yourself. Sit there all alone, wishing we were known, trying to find a home in the palm of our hand. Think it's time to wait.
Alright, so it's time to solve that hinge problem that we kind of glossed over in the original drawings. But just went and got some hinges from Menards that are basically the same ones that I used on the other kennel, and turns out they work just fine. So basically, I just wanted to pre-install these hinges so that the holes would already be there. And then I took the doors back off for the final assembly so that they weren't flopping around while I was trying to get everything put back together. And then I just reinstalled the doors and the screw holes that were already there. So here's that table that we're replacing. Like I said, same paint, same stain for the top, but I think this would be a lot more useful for what we need. So I never actually did anything for the legs. I just put these scraps on the bottom just to get it up off the carpet a little bit. And now the only thing left to do is final assembly. I promise I did actually attach this top, it's not just sitting on there. I guess I kind of forgot to mention, but I modeled the inside dimensions based on these doggy beds that Jordan found on Amazon. Now the only thing left is the latches, and I tried not to overcomplicate it, so I just cut a little piece, stained it to match, and I found these like double-sided bolts that would go through and some nylon washers to let it spin a little bit easier. She's still not real sure about it, but she's settling in.